State your full name and spell your last name. Detective Charles Capp, Shield 716, last name C-A-P-P. Detective, are you employed by the Orange County Police Department? Yes. For how long have you been so employed? 16 years. You indicated yesterday that you are in the Narcotics Division. Is that correct? Accurate? Okay. How long have you been there? 12 and a half years. Did there come a time in your life, Detective, that you had some contact there? Yes. Can you tell us the first contact you had, or the first you learned of him, or he learned of you, or whatever the circumstances were? Defense counsel. Objection to the form, Your Honor. The court. Objection overruled. I bought marijuana from him. Is that the first time? Yes. I had information. What information? That he was in charge of a boutique. Did it have a name? Yes. What? Sparkles. The court. Sparkles? Yes. And what about the boutique? He would sell it out of the boutique. If I understand you correctly, you went into the boutique and purchased some drugs from him. Yes. On how many occasions? Several. Did you look similar to the way that you look now? Yes. I didn't have a suit and tie, but I looked similar. The beard and the ponytail were because you wanted to look like a typical hippie from the 60s who would be likely to smoke pot? The court. Defense counsel. Objection, Your Honor, as manifestly leading and suggestive. The court. I will allow it. Yes, whatever. In any event, at some point, did he get arrested? Yes. Was that by you or somebody else? By me. The court. When was he arrested, Detective? On May 11th, 2006. The court. Where? In the vicinity of the parking lot. The court. In 2006? Right. 2005, I think you meant, excuse me, I'm sorry, it was May 11th? May 11th, 2005, in the vicinity of the IHOP restaurant. Was he in the company of anyone? Yes. Who? His son. His son? He had a small infant with him at the time of his arrest. I take it from that he was not arrested in the boutique. Defendant's counsel. I object, Your Honor, leading, if Your Honor please. The court. The objection is overruled. No. Under what circumstances did you become aware that he and his small son would be in the vicinity of the International House of Pancakes? We had a telephone conversation. Before you arrested him, did he in fact sell you marijuana? Yes. By the way, on that occasion, did you have any backup, such as somebody shooting a videotape or a witness in a parked car or something of that nature? Yes. In any of the boutique sales, did you have any officers conducting a surveillance? Yes. It would be fair to say that when you arrested him, you had a pretty solid case against him. Defense counsel, I object as incompetent, Your Honor. The court. The objection is sustained. At some point, did I understand from what the other witness said, I don't know if approached is the right word, but he solicited the thought that he would cooperate with you and give information about other people? Yes. In exchange, hopefully, for going easier on him. Is that correct? Yes. Defendant's counsel. Objection. Form, Your Honor. The court. Objection overruled. Yes. By the way, how was that initial request made by that person? Basically, we go over the options at the time of his arrest. You mean if he wants to cooperate? Yes, it is through the district attorney's office. So as to become, for example, a confidential informant? Something like that. When you say he initiated the thought, this was after you told him of your availability vis-a-vis cooperating? Yes. At the time that you told this to him, were you aware of his previous run-ins with the law? Yes. Specifically, what were you aware of? We had been previously knowing that he was arrested for selling crack cocaine. When you say arrested, you know, and I know the difference between an arrest and a conviction. So my question is, what previous convictions were you aware of? I wasn't aware of a conviction. Of what were you aware? I might have been aware at the time, but thinking back, I don't remember whether he did have a conviction. As you sit here now, are you aware of any prior convictions as opposed to arrests that he had in May of 2005? Defense counsel objection. The court objection overruled. I believe that he had a specification of a conviction for the sale of a controlled substance. If I understand correctly, your best recollection is that while you knew that he had physically been arrested for that, you were not aware whether or not he was convicted? Yes. The court, is this a good time to take a break for lunch? Plaintiff's counsel, just a few more questions, Your Honor, and I will conclude. The court, all right, continue. Detective, are you familiar with the actual contact or contract of cooperation that was signed? I never really read it. Let me show you, and you may not know the answer, what has been pre-marked as Exhibit 6. Yes, I ask you if you can look behind it, if you recognize it to be the agreement between Mary Rowan and the District Attorney's Office. I don't recognize that. Like I said, I don't really get into that part of it with the District Attorney's Office. Is there some physical registry made of these? Yes. Where? It is in our office. It depends on the circumstances. At some point, were you in fact contacted by the defendant? Yes. By the way, on the charge that you arrested him for, was he arraigned? I beg your pardon. Was he indicted? No. Does this offer concerning cooperation come sometime between the arrest and the indictment? It is the reverse. Do you recall when it was, I don't mean the exact day, but approximately, that he got in touch with you? I am not sure. How's that?
Okay.
175.